together with job search and all questions related to job search, and also to support each other, encourage each other, and provide whatever support we can for you at this kind of wild and crazy time, right? Sometimes we're super excited because we've got that resume off and we're looking forward to hearing from the company, and then, we get crickets. So we've all been there, and so that's why we're here to help support each other and provide some expertise sometimes.
I'm good to go. I'll take the baton back from you if you don't mind. You're like, do I keep talking? Thank you so much, Jude. I want to say good morning and welcome to all of you. Yes, I am off-site today. I'm normally working out of my home office in Fraser, Michigan, but I'm meeting some friends for a lunch event today in Royal Oak. So I'm actually at the Office Coffee Shop in Royal Oak. So I'm off on the side. There's a booth that I'm in, but I'm kind of sitting against the wall where they've got like these pallet things with these greenery. So it provides some really nice change of scenery for me and for you to look at. I want to welcome all of you and thank you so much for joining. You may not be happy that you're here because the fact that you're here means you are still unemployed, in career transition, looking for work, etc. But I am glad that you are here because that means you found us. And this is an awesome community of individuals who are in career transition like you, as well as people who are supporters of the job seeking community. And as we start off our phone call today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce individuals who I deem to be all-stars, people who are supportive of the job seeker community, who maybe work as career coaches, consultants, etc. Before we do that, I do want to remind everyone, could you please mute yourself? So look right now at your sound, make sure that you are muted so we don't get any background noise. I do have the ability to do a mute all, but I don't want to feel like I'm slapping people on the hand by doing that. So mute yourself if you could, because we are on a Zoom. There's really only the opportunity for one person to speak at a time. So it's kind of like we have to toss the virtual baton or microphone to you. We'll call on you to do that as we go along. So I'm going to introduce the individuals that I deem to be my all-stars, and I'm going to ask each of them to introduce themselves on camera while you introduce yourself inside of chat. So here's what we're going to do, and I'm going to ask the all-stars, if you wouldn't mind, could you raise your hand, because you know who you are. You're the individuals that I've called on in the past. Okay, so Jude, I'm going to have you go first, followed by Joey, and I'm just waiting for the others to raise their hand. I know Kenneth is buying some concert tickets right now, so it might take him a minute. Linda, I know that you specialize in working with job seekers. Would you mind being amongst our all-stars today and giving an introduction of yourself? Would that be okay? If so, raise your hand if you're able to do that, and then I'll call on you in that order as well. Looking through to see who else is on here. I'm making you co-host for those individuals that are the all-stars in the lineup here too. All right, so go ahead, Jude, and then followed by Joey, and then I'll call off the order after that.
Good morning again. My name is Jude Gall, and I am a resume writer and job search coach. I do everything from resumes to cover letters to helping you prepare for an interview. And I do it because I love it. I'm one of those weird kind of people that loves to write resumes and play with words and help you create great answers that sound genuine and really help you shine at the interview. I'm always happy to be on Brenda's calls. We have a lot of fun here, and I'm looking forward to learning about Linda. She's a newbie for me, and as is Al. And take it away, Joey.
Thank you, Jude. Good morning, all. Nice to meet you all. So I'm a true blue New Yorker, born and raised, and to that end, I am in your face when it comes to job seeking. I spend a lot of my time, almost all my time, trying to make people upbeat and positive and help them see the brighter side of the coin, if you will. So while we're on these calls, I'll just sit back and listen until I hear you going down a rat's hole. Then I will chime in, smack you in the face, and bring you back to reality.
Love it. Thank you, Joe. Joey's like I always say, like, we have a lot of we have a mix of people, I should say, on the call. And I'm from the Midwest, so I'm always like very gracious and gentle with my approaches. So, like, Joey's direct. He's a New Yorker, right? So we need our New Yorkers on here. We need people to be blunt and direct with us. But we also need, a supportive community. So I love that we have all personalities on here. All
And
right,
it's all
we're
done
gonna
with
go in
love,
this
Brenda.
order.
It's all done with love.
That's why I love you, man. That's why we have you on the call here. Absolutely. All right, so we're going to go in this order next. We're going to go Al, then Linda, then Kenneth, and then back to me. All right, Al, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Morning, I'm Al Smith. I ran for president in 1928. No, never mind. I know it's terrible. Brenda, by the way, I bought my first car in Live Oak, Michigan. Why that brings to mind. But I've been helping people in job transition for about a dozen years. The reason I started this was because I was in job transition. And even though I've won more awards than I have fingers and toes for, I found myself out of a job for over 2 years. And the pit that you can dig yourself into is very deep, it's very dark, and it's very ugly. And not only do I not want anybody to be there in that pit, I don't want you to be where I was at the time, because I picked the spot in the woods behind my house where that was the end. Don't want you to be there. So that's why I work hard to help people get out of there. And I'm in the Atlanta area. So there you have it. Next.
I think that might be me. Hi, I'm Linda Brubaker, and I'm a job search coach. And what I do is that I work with people in all stages of their job search. What my feeling is that you want to find your next forever job. I don't believe in forever jobs anymore, so we're trying to find the best situation for you. What I bring to the table is the fact that I've been on all sides of this position. So I've been a dedicated recruiter for companies. I've been a headhunter, and I've been a job search coach. So I've been in employment-related positions throughout my entire career. So I'm one of those people I call the dummy on this side of the desk or the screen. And what I bring to you is that viewpoint to help you get your information in front of that right person in the right way.
All right, Kenneth Lang, are you able to jump in and introduce yourself? He was buying concert tickets, so if you can't, that's okay.
No, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes. No, I'm actually online to get Bruce Springsteen tickets. So for all you guys that know that, it's the old, we'll see what happens. But I do want to join the call and let you know that I'm happy to be here. I actually met Sue Griffey yesterday. She came to Nancy Aronson's shop in northern New Jersey. We had a wonderful chat. And so I'm here to support you, Brenda. I'm here to support everyone here on the call. I will be on the call, but I just want to get back just in case, because this is good. This is actually a 35th wedding anniversary present for my wife, so I can't really screw this up. So I'll be back in a little while, but carry on.
Awesome. Well, how sweet of you to be getting tickets for your wife, and what a loving husband you are. So kudos to you, Kenneth. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I want to say good morning and welcome to all of you again. If you joined a couple minutes late, my name is Brenda Meller. I'm your host for this fabulous event. I call this your Friday VIP Job Seeker Office Hours. And I want to break that down. Every Friday we do this. So every Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern time, we do these calls. And for a while we were skipping like holidays. So if it was like the Friday of Thanksgiving, we wouldn't do it, or Friday of Christmas or Hanukkah or something, we were skipping. But there's actually people that will come on the call. So even if I'm not there, there will be others coming on the call. So every Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern time. I've had a couple people on the West Coast say, that's actually 7 a.m. Pacific. It's too early for me. And I'm like, sorry, this is the time that works for me. This is the time that works best. So the calls are recorded. They are live streamed to YouTube, and you can watch the playback on YouTube. I'm going to ask my intern, Julia, if she would be so kind as to drop the link for today's call inside the chat right now. And then also in a separate, could you put the playlist for all of the other calls as well? So that way, if you want to come back and watch the other calls, feel free. You can listen to them kind of like a podcast. You'll get a lot of great information and tips. So that's the Friday part. VIP, I want you to know that you are a very important person, regardless if you're working or not, if you're in between successes, in career transition, any of those fancy terms that are out there, unemployed, underemployed, etc. You are a very important person, and I want you to know that. I don't want anyone to feel like they are alone in on the process. And I'm going to pull you up in gallery right now. And I want to say good morning and welcome to all of you. This also gives me a moment to see who's on the call. I want to just say good morning and welcome to Al, Julia, Kenneth, Linda, We've got two L's. We've got Al S and Al N I see on here. We've got Elisa, Angela, Brett, Dan, David M, David S, Dean, Don. Don, I haven't mailed your book yet, but I haven't forgotten about you. It's on my desk. Elizabeth, Gary, Janine, Jeff, Jill, Joan, Joey, Jonathan, Jude, Kate, Kenneth. We've got Kenneth Lang #1 and Ken Lang #2. We've got the Kenneth Lang Club going in the house here. Kargesh, Laura S, Lena, Lillian, Linda, Lisa, Michelle, Nicole, Randy, Rich, Rosemary. Scott, nice to see you again. Hey, Stuart, how are you? Tom, Veronique, Wendy, Rita, and I think someone else joined after that. Maybe they shifted around. If I missed you, I apologize. The names just jumped a little bit. But I want to say good morning and welcome to all of you. And I want you all to look at the list of names to see who's on here. And I also want you to notice who's not on here. Because there may be a reason. Maybe they got a job. Maybe they got an interview. Maybe they have something else going on Friday and they're spending their time elsewhere. But if there's people that regularly come on and they're not on here, could you do me a favor? Go ahead and message them on LinkedIn today. And just say, hey, Stuart, I noticed you weren't on the Friday VIP call. Just checking in. How's the job search going? Or, you know, hey, Elizabeth, we were on the VIP call and your name came up. Just want to check in and see how things are going for you. If there's people that you regularly talk to, reach out and just kind of do a quick check-in with them. Because when you're in career transition, it can be very isolating. And it's a really weird thing that happens because you go from working at an organization with a team, with coworkers, and they become like your family away from home, right? And then all of a sudden, one day you're not with those people anymore. Your family is kind of broken, right? And it's kind of weird what happens when you leave an organization. You know, some people side with you, so to speak. They reach out, hey, Brenda, how are things going? And some people, they just kind of turn their backs on you. And it's weird because like the day before we were working together, we were a team, we were doing this stuff. And then all of a sudden you're not a team anymore. Like, where does the team go, right? Well, I want you to look around the room, my friend, because right now you have a team of 43 people that are on your side as you're in this journey together. And I want to encourage you as we are dropping our introductions into chat. By the way, if you haven't already done yours, drop your intro in here now. But you should be introducing yourself. You should get in the habit of doing this on every single virtual call that you are on. Now, I usually wait until about 5 minutes after the call has begun. That way, if anyone did join a minute or two late, they're still going to see your introduction. And the way that it works is you'll see the chat at the point that you come into the virtual meeting. So anyone that dropped their introduction in at 9:58, you're not going to see if you joined at 10:02, okay? Now, as you're looking through those, I want you to kind of just read through them because you might find, like here's, for example, I see Laura Slick is looking for a VP, FP&A, or a finance role. I'm not sure what FP&A stands for, Laura, but I know finance. So vice president finance role or similar in the Denver area or 100% remote. And then you see her LinkedIn URL. It's blue. It's clickable. You can click to go to her profile right now, invite her to connect, mention that you saw her on the Friday VIP call. But I want you to kind of make a mental note as you're looking through the introductions here, because you might have an opportunity that you could send to fellow job seekers. So make sure that you're looking through those, reading through and seeing who's on the call, inviting people to connect with you if you're not already connected. And if you are already connected, you can do a favor for these job seekers. Go to their LinkedIn profile, scroll down to the experience section, and give them an endorsement. So I'm going to show an example of this right now. I'm going to share my screen here. I'm not sure if Gary, if you and I are connected yet, but let's see if we are. And if we are, oh, Gary, we're not connected yet. I'm so sorry about that. So let me send you a quick invite to connect if you don't mind. And then if you accept it, I can give you some endorsements. By the way, Gary, it looks like you have enabled creator mode on your profile. And I know that you have because I see the follow button is the default. I don't see the option to connect. So I had to click on the more button to get the option to invite you to connect. I'm going to click on that right now. And when I get to this page, LinkedIn's going to say your invitation's almost on the way. You can either send, which is like the blue light button, right? Or you can click on add a note. You always want to click on add a note, my friend. And here's what I would do. I would just say something short and sweet. Hi, Gary. Nice to see you on the VIP call again. I know you've been on here before, so that's why I'm saying again. Let's connect on LinkedIn, Brenda Meller. I'm going to send that invitation off to you, Gary. I'm going to give it a couple seconds for it to land in your LinkedIn inbox. And if you don't mind accepting that, and then I'm going to give you a couple of endorsements. So I'm going to give it a second to see if Gary can accept that. And that's the formula I use with every single invitation I send. I'm always going to add a personal note. If I met you, I'm going to remind you where we met. If we were both on the same call together, I'm going to remind you of the fact that we were both on the same call together. If we haven't met and I wanted to connect with you, I'm still going to include a personal note. And what I would do in that is I might take 30 seconds to a minute, scan through your profile, find things that we have in common. So for example, on Gary's profile, I see that we have 34 mutual connections, including David Mills and Jerry Jones. So that's something I could reference in the invitation. If I didn't know Gary, if he wasn't on the call, I would say, hi, Gary, we haven't met yet, but I see that we share 34 common connections, including Jerry Jones and David Mills. Let's connect on LinkedIn, Brenda Meller. So that's what I might do there. All right, I'm going to try one more time, Gary, and if it doesn't come through, I'm going to find somebody else. I'm going to move on to the next person on the list here, find somebody else that I am connected with so I can show the endorsements. Let's see. David. All right, David, you're going to get lucky today because I'm going to give you some endorsements on your skills. So I see that I'm connected with David. I see the first right next to his name. That means that one of us has sent an invitation and the other person accepted it. I'm going to scroll down to your skills section right now, and I'm going to give you some endorsements for your skills. And why am I doing this, even though I haven't ever worked with David? Well, because I know as a LinkedIn coach, this is what I do for a living, I know that if you have 99 plus endorsements for a skill, that means you're going to come up in more searches on LinkedIn. So I am helping to support you as a job seeker by giving you endorsements. That's my personal philosophy. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to click on endorse, endorse, endorse. That took what, 2.5 seconds? Not even that long, right? It was really fast and simple to do that process. And I do like to give endorsements to job seekers to support all of you in your job search, knowing how LinkedIn works, and also to be supportive of you. This is my way of helping each of you on your journey to finding your next job. So it's a simple thing to do. I would encourage all of you to do the same. I mean, we've got what, 46 of us on the call. If we were to all go on others' profiles right now and give out endorsements, we could all leave with, 20 or 30 more endorsements for our top skills, which might help you to come up in more of those searches by hiring managers or recruiters. All right. So let's see, we talked about Friday, VIP, and job seekers. This call is designed for anybody who is in career transition. And as you see others on LinkedIn that are posting about being laid off or in career transition or struggling to find a job, tag me in on the comments. Just say, Brenda Meller may have some resources that can help you. That's kind of your way of winking to me. And when you do the @ Brenda Meller, that will tag me. And I will go back and I'll kind of wink back to you and I'll say, here's the link to join the Friday VIP call. So I'll make it super easy for those folks to come and join us. I don't want anyone to feel alone. That's part of the reason I created this. And the other reason is I'm a big believer that we should all do something to always give back to others. This is my way of giving back. Every week, I support the job seeking community because I've been there and it sucks. I'm sorry, there's no other way to say it sucks. Like some days it doesn't suck as bad as other days, but you want to be back to work. You don't want to feel like, you have no one to collaborate and to work. I mean, you really want to be part of that team. So I wanted to create a community where you can come every Friday, and you're welcome here every Friday, by the way, even when you're back to work. What we're going to do next is we're going to start to shift into some success stories and questions. If you have a success, I want you to go into chat right now and type in the word success in all caps. I'm going to try this on my laptop, success, as an example, so you can see. Type in success in all caps, and then I want you to raise your hand. So what you'll need to do to raise your hand is go into your Zoom menu bar at the very bottom, and you have to click under reactions. And then when you get that reactions, you should see a little menu, and one of them will be raise hand. So just like I did, Rosemary has done, Lisa has done. That will help me because then I can see the hands that are raised and I can call on you and I can say, okay, let's call on each of these people. All right, the other thing that we will do, Gary, by the way, do not apologize. This is an apology-free zone. You do not need to apologize. I know I sent you an invitation pretty quickly, and not everybody is super tech savvy where you have different windows open, so don't worry about it. I put you on the spot. I should apologize to you, if anything, Gary, for putting you on the spot, so don't worry about it. But I'll give you some skills later on. All right, so we're going to do success stories. I also want to see if you have any questions, and if you do have a question, I want you to type the word question in caps in all chat. And I'm just going to use an example question. Do you like coffee? I'm just in a coffee mood because I'm at a coffee shop right now. I want you to type in your full question. That way, if we don't get to you on the call, others may be able to help you. You might have a career question and Linda sees your question and she might be able to message you or reach out to you in the future. Or you might be thinking about painting your kitchen and Joey's like, no, don't paint your kitchen. And let me tell you why, right? So put your question, put the word question in all caps, followed by the full question in chat. Any questions related to using LinkedIn for job search, any questions related to your resume, any questions related to interviewing, any of that, please feel free to drop that into chat. While I'm thinking about it too, Julia, could you drop the Do This Now checklist link into chat as well? It's a great resource that we have provided for those of you that are in career transition, things that you should do now if you are in career transition or if you've been recently let go. Really great reminders that have been created from this community. All right, so I see we've got some hands raised with success stories. So Rosemary, we're going to start with you, and then we'll go to Lisa next. And then a reminder, if anyone has put success or question into chat, please raise your hand as well. That will make it a little bit easier for me to call on you. So Rosemary, you're going to go first, and then we'll go to Lisa. What's going on with you, Rosemary?
Well, I landed a job. And I know if Sue Griffey were here, she'd be giving me pom-poms, but she's not here, so. Yes, so as you've often said, everybody lands, right? So, and I got this not through a contact of mine, but through a contact of somebody else. So a second level contact, really. So a contact of mine posted my resume, just full on posted my resume on LinkedIn, and somebody saw it and contacted me. So I start on Monday. It's a director of employee benefits at a PEO. And so I'll have a team of about 11 people supporting their, 300 plus clients doing all of their employee benefits. So I'm excited. It's a very different type of role for me, but I think it's a good company. I also have kind of an interesting twist that an employee that used to work at Bullseye, somebody that actually worked for me for many years, is at this company. So I was like, oh wow, I'll see a friendly face there. Not working for me, not on the same team, but it's just at least somebody that I know. So, I'm excited, and I definitely think you go back to, it's not always who you know, it's who your connections know, yeah. So that's it.
That's awesome. So Rosemary, any advice for fellow job seekers? Others on the call that are listening to you talking about your success story right now. What advice would you have for them?
Definitely the connections, definitely the LinkedIn or the networking is really, really important. And this connection of mine, I knew through Oak Mac Sherm, and we weren't even like big connections. But he said, is there anything I could do, to help you? And I said, well, I'll send you my resume. And he said, oh, I'm happy to, get your resume out there. To which I had no idea he was just going to post my resume as is on LinkedIn, but that's what he did. I thought he'd, maybe send it out or something, as others had done, which I appreciate, but no, he just posted. I was like, whoa. And yeah, someone saw it and contacted me. So you don't know how they're going to come. You just don't know how the connections will appear. So you have to take advantage of them in any way. So.
What I love is someone said, is there any way that I can help you? And you didn't say, no, I'm okay. Like, you didn't say that. You said, yeah, you can help me. So I want all of you to remember, and I talk often about the boat story, and I want to retell it right now for those of you who haven't heard it. In the movie, The Pursuit of Happiness, they talk about it at the end of the movie. Will Smith and his son is walking, and, there's a big flood in town, and the water's rising, and they're trying to evacuate the whole town. And a boat comes by the guy's house, and they're like, you got to get out. And the guy's like, no, God will save me, God will save me. And the next day, the water goes up, and it's at the second floor, and houses are flooding, and another boat comes by, and let's get you out of here. And the guy says, no, God will help me, God will help me. And the third day, the water keeps going, and it ends up covering the house. The guy drowns, he dies, he goes up to heaven, and he's in front of God, and he's like, God, what happened? Yeah, I thought you were going to help me. And God says, what do you think the boats were for? I sent you help. So I want all of you to be open and receptive to people around you that may be offering you assistance. And don't feel bad about saying, yes, I need help, and letting people know. Part of the reason, you're on the call here today is to gain some additional tips and insights to get you to that next dream job. And what Rosemary was talking about, we don't know exactly what's going to lead us to that. It could be a new connection. It could be applying to a job. Maybe you'll get lucky. I hate the black hole myself. But if you want to tell me how much you hate the black hole, go ahead and chat, because I think we need to get out that negative energy sometimes too. But sometimes it's just making the connections with new people and being open and receptive, and sometimes letting people know, maybe by posting on LinkedIn and telling people, if you're not aware, I am in career transition. I am looking for my next job as a marketing director in Metro Detroit. If you're aware of any opportunities, please let me know. Give them a call to action, tell them what you want them to do if they hear of any open roles. And you may have people that respond back and say, hey, Rosemary, I didn't even know that you were looking for work. How can I help you? And then if they say, how can I help you? Ask them if they would be open to looking at your resume. Ask them if they'd be open to a virtual coffee. Ask them if they have any advice on events, or, if they hear of opportunities with that, ask them. If they say, how can I help you? Ask them for that. So that's a really great point. All right, Rosemary, I am super happy for you. I know the organization you're working with, and I'm super excited. I can't wait to see that updated on your LinkedIn. I would recommend that when you add it to your profile, make sure that you click on notify your network so that you get the benefit of that going out and bask in all the glory of all the congratulations notes that you get coming to you. Make sure that, let's just say you're starting on Monday, which I think is 27th, but you don't add it to your LinkedIn profile until March 4th or something. If you do that, put your start date as March, because if you put it as February, the notification will not go out because LinkedIn sees that as old news. You want to put it in the month that it happens. If you need any help with that, I'd be happy to walk that through you on a quick Zoom call. But I'm super excited. And you're always welcome to come back whenever you're able, but super excited to see you go too.
Thank you so much. Couldn't have done it without you guys. I really mean that.
Well, we're happy for you. That's the goal. All right, we're going to move us along here. Next up is Lisa, and I'm going to remind everyone on the call here, if you do have a question or a success story, raise your hand. I see that, Al, you raised your hand too. Did you want to add something to the Rosemary story, Al, or do you want to go after Lisa? We can wait. Okay. All right, Lisa, go ahead, and then we'll bring up Al.
Hello, everybody. Congratulations, Rosemary. I think that's amazing. I'm so happy for you. My success is I have a second interview in person this time. So I'm very excited about that. Last week it was a phone interview, and this week I'm going to go and be in person. So I need to prepare, and I know I can do that. This is exciting. It's a decent job, a good opportunity. So I'm excited for it. That's all.
Awesome. Well, we are super excited to hear about this. I feel like you've had momentum going for many weeks here, and I feel like it's a matter of time for you.
Yes.
And you're such a positive person. I'm sure you interview very well. They're bringing you back. That's a really good sign. If I were you, I'd ask them, why did you bring me back? Ask that question. I always like asking the positive questions. I don't like asking questions like, is there any concerns you have about my skills? Don't give them the gap questions. Give them the positive. What was it about my resume that prompted you to bring me in? Or what was it about our initial discussion that caused you to bring me in for the interview? Get the positive aspects of that focused out in their mind. I think you're going to rock it. I see we have two hands raised, Al and Joey. I want to see if they have any advice for you, and then we're going to move on here. Al, anything you'd like to share with Lisa?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I love that question. One of my favorite questions, and I write about it, is in an initial interview. Hopefully you've had the chance to take a look at review my resume. What is it about my background that made you want to speak with me today? And there, of course, me being me, you have to deal with a third possible answer. The first possible answer is they're telling you all the things they like about me, and you're nodding your head up and down because it's bobblehead day at the interview. The second possible answer, when they finish, you say, "Oh, I'm so glad that you recognize those strong skill sets. It makes me feel even more excited about going to work with you." And the second possible answer is, "I don't know, Susie wanted me to interview you." Well, you can follow up. Susie probably wanted you to interview me because I bring these things to the table. And where do you find those things? Job description. And the third possible answer is.
I couldn't hear
let's-
what you said, Gary. I don't know if anybody else could hear. What did you say?
It's in the job description. Use it. It's your
Oh,
friend.
okay. I couldn't hear that at all. I was like, what?
You're in a coffee shop. But the third possible answer is I've got 742 questions I ask in 3.3 minutes. If there's any time left over, you can ask any question you want. So you let them ask their question, answer it in the form of a star story or a SAR story, whatever you call them. I know what a star is. I don't want to know what a SAR is. And then you want to follow up and ask, why do you like working here? What attracted you to the company? Because you want to get away from confrontation and you want to get into conversation. So that and 50 cents will get you a thimble of coffee at Brenda's Coffee Shop.
Thank you, Al. Joey, how about you? Anything advice to offer to Lisa?
Congratulations, Rosemary, first to you. And Lisa, you know this, so I'm going to say it anyway. You got to practice for this interview. It's not a slam dunk, right? Especially because it's in person. A lot of the points Al make right on target. I would suggest to you, if I may be so bold, and I write about this in my book,
Absolutely.
visualize that you're their knight in shining armor, and that halfway through the interview, the hiring manager, whoever's interviewing you, is actually going to stop you in your tracks, make a phone call to their admin, and cancel all the other appointments that are coming down the road. I suggest you think that, because if you think that, you'll feel that. And if you feel that, that will come through in your interview.
That's
So-
awesome. That's good advice. Yes. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you, Joey. All right, Lisa, fingers crossed for you.
Thank
Everybody's
you.
like rooting for you on this, so keep us posted, and we look forward to hearing more good news from you.
Thank you very much, everybody.
All right, welcome. Okay, so let's see who else has a question or a success story. If you could please raise your hand. Al, did you have something else to add, or was your hand still raised from earlier? Go ahead.
No, I did have something to add. This is more of a, what would you do? And this is to everybody. I have another client who's been successful. Last Thursday, he accepted a contract job, $65 per hour. There's a limited number of hours in the contract. He has no benefits. And then day before yesterday at 11 o'clock at night, he got an offer from the company that he really wanted to work for. Oh, by the way, he signed the contract with the first company. He got an offer for $130,000, which is $65 an hour. It's a full-time job. It's a 7% match on a 401k, $5,000 sign-on bonus. What would you do since you signed the contract with the first company? Now you're offered another job with this company. What would you do?
All right, I apologize. I'm reading through chat, so I didn't hear if you were asking a question. I got a little bit sidetracked as you were talking about that, Al, but thank you. Always appreciate you being on the call and your commentary. I did get your book in the mail. I haven't started reading it yet, but thank you for sending that over. I appreciate it. I'll bring it on the next one. All right, I'm going to move us along here to, let me see here. Rich, you have a success story, my friend. And then after Rich, we have Pagesh. So Rich, what's happening with you?
Yes, after almost 6 months of applying for permanent contract jobs, I accepted a contract position in northern New Jersey for 12 months. Thank you. I'm still looking. It's for a business analyst position. It was actually a two-part interview. The interesting thing is they wanted to test to make sure I knew Excel, so I had to do some Excel tests. But people could say that they know how to do VLOOKUPs, but they wanted to make sure I did. But I liked meeting the team, and the job starts mid-March, and I passed the background check. They didn't find any skeletons in the closet. So,
well, wonderful. Is there a possibility that could go into a full-time role, Rich, or is it contract?
I think there's a possibility. There is a possibility, yes.
Okay, good. And keep in mind, too, if you're looking to brush up on your Excel skills, there are a lot of training and courses and things that are out there. One is through LinkedIn Learning. And if you have a premium subscription like Job Seeker Premium or anything on your own account, you can go into it from your home computer, but you can also go to your local library and they will, I don't know how it works exactly. If anyone does, raise your hand and explain it, but you can get into LinkedIn Learning with your local library to access the training and resources that are available through there. So if you wanted to brush up on the when you talk about VLOOKUP, I'm like, I kind of know how to do that, but I don't really remember. But there are some tutorials and things like that through LinkedIn Learning available. Elizabeth, I see that you raised your hand. Do you know how the library thing works? If so, can you unmute yourself? No?
No, I'm sorry. That's not what I was raising my hand for.
Oh,
but-
okay. We'll give you just a
Suggestion?
second then.
I
What was
took
that,
a
Rich?
course through my local library through LinkedIn Learning. However, the resulting credential, the form that I received didn't have my name on it. So it just said blank received,
Bummer.
finished an Essentials Tableau course. So my wife said to me, anybody could take that and use it on their own profile. But I posted it to LinkedIn and said that I finished the course. Thank you.
So I wonder if that's because you were using the library license, which is like a generic user. Al is shaking his head yes. So I think if you were to get your own, now here's the little workaround that you could do. You could upgrade to premium for 1 month. They usually give you your first month free. So do it again through your own account, Rich, and then you can download your certificate and then just cancel premium before the end of the 30 days, and then you won't have to pay for anything. So little loophole to think about. Does that make sense?
You mean redo it with a paid subscription?
Yes. So here's the process I would do. If I were you, and if I wanted to get a certificate that says I completed an Excel course in LinkedIn Learning and I want my name to appear on that certificate, I would go to LinkedIn, sign up for premium, and you typically will get 1 month free your first time that you do it. You have to put a credit card on file, and day 30, if you don't cancel, they're going to bill your credit card for the next month. But during the 30 days, you have access to all of the premium services, including LinkedIn Learning. So you'll go and find that LinkedIn course on Excel, complete it again. You'll have to do it all the way start to finish again. At the end, you should get a certificate that you can download with your name on it, put that on your profile, then go in and cancel premium, at least by the end of the 30 days. That way you can get the certificate with your name, not have to pay for premium, and, whether that helps you or not. Does that make sense?
Thank you very much. Yes. Oh, by the way, veterans get LinkedIn Premium for free, correct? I think.
Yeah, veterans, I think you get 1 year of premium for free, if I'm not mistaken. The veterans benefits 1 year. Al saying yes, 1 year. So yeah, if you're a veteran, check that out. Absolutely. All right, Rich, thank you. I think you might be frozen right now. Can you hear me okay? Okay, all right, good. Thank you so much for asking that or sharing that with us. And then I want to move us on to, I believe Kagesh was our next success story. So Kagesh, are you able to unmute yourself?
Yes, but before, so I don't have a success story. I have a question, but before I ask my question,
sure.
I have a suggestion for Rich. I think we are already connected on LinkedIn, but Rich, if you want to show how cool you are, tell them or teach them about XLOOKUP instead of VLOOKUP. It's a new feature of VLOOKUP, but much better, much easier. Call it XLOOKUP. Okay, so if you need help, I can help you with, I can give you a demo, I can send you a little 2-minute training video on that or whatever, but it's super powerful, super easy, and way smarter than VLOOKUP. All right, so.
That is awesome. Kagesh, could I
so
interrupt and just offer one more thing before we go into, there is, and now that you said that, there is an Instagram account, and I'm trying to remember the name of it, but they always are posting really cool Excel tips. I'm going to see if I can find the name, and I'm going to put it inside chat. But I think you just raised a really brilliant point. The company is trying to vet Rich to figure out, does he really do what he says he does? And what you suggested is like blow their socks off by showing them above and beyond your level of knowledge. So if anyone on the call has additional knowledge about Excel tips, resources, websites, things like that, that you can share with Rich, drop those into chat before you leave the call. And let's arm Rich with all of these resources so he can really show them he knows his stuff beyond he knows his stuff on Excel. I think that was a really brilliant tip. All right, Kagesh, did you have a question or a success story? I do apologize.
I do have a question.
Are you on video or are you on video?
I'm not on video. I'm not on video.
Okay,
I'm sorry. I did not turn on purpose.
No problem.
So my question is, I have a LinkedIn profile where I have about 50 skills. Already I reached to the level, but now I need to be more smart in removing some skills and adding new skills that I want to market. For life of me, I cannot figure out how to update those skills. Somebody help me in the chat also. I'm going to look up. But if you can give me a demo, or if you can show how to update, how to delete old skill and add a new skill, for example.
Absolutely. Great question. So the question is, I have 50 skills. I want to swap out and add some new skills in, but LinkedIn won't let me. So how do I delete out skills to make space to add in new skills? So I'm going to demo this on my LinkedIn account right now. I want to remind everyone that this is recorded, so you can go back and watch the playback. I'm going to ask Julia, my intern, to please drop the playback link again inside chat, the YouTube, as well as the playlist. And I'll encourage everyone to subscribe to my channel while you're out on YouTube. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to your LinkedIn profile, scroll down to the skills section. And there's a pencil icon in the upper right-hand corner. So we want to go ahead and click on the pencil icon. Now we're going to get into a menu here, and let's say I wanted to delete out a skill that I already have on here to make room for something else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to scroll down and see if I can find something that I would delete out of here. I'm going to take marketing management. I know I've got 99 endorsements, but I'm not doing marketing management anymore. So I'm just going to click on that. Let me just show you what I did again here. I clicked on the pencil icon next to marketing management, and then I click on delete skill. And LinkedIn's going to write, are you sure? It's going to delete it from everywhere. I'm going to say, yep, that ship has sailed. I'm going to take it off of my profile. And now I've got space that if I wanted to add in additional skills, I have to click on the back button. Yeah, I know it's confusing. I have a job literally because LinkedIn is confusing, you know. But now I see it says show all 49 skills, which means I have space for one more. So I want to add another one. So add, I want to click on the plus sign. And when I click on the plus sign, LinkedIn's going to say, hey, here are some skills that we think that you have. Are any of these, you know, and if you find, like, let's say content strategy, I could click on that, or you can type in your own skill, okay? So I am also going to give you a little bit of a pro tip. I figured this out a little while ago. You can create a custom skill. Did you know that? And I'm going to just create one right now. I'm going to call it Inspiring VIP Job Seekers. That is not in the LinkedIn skills list. But if I type that in and I click on enter, actually if I click on save, you're going to notice that it adds that into my profile. Inspiring Job Seekers is now on my profile. So you can create custom skills. You can create skills that are in the LinkedIn list. Definitely as a job seeker, I think you want to use skills that appear in job postings, especially required skills that will help you to come up in more searches. But that's how you do it. You have to delete it out first to make space for the new one. Kagesh, does that help you out?
Yes,
Give it a second to see.
absolutely. Absolutely. This was very helpful. Thank you.
All right, yes. And the person, Lisa, who said the cheat sheets on Instagram, that was the account. Thank you so much for putting that in there. That's the Instagram account about the Excel. So Kagesh, thank you so much for asking us that question. I'm going to move us along. Rich, I still see your hand is raised. Did you have something else to add, or was it still raised from before? Oh, you're good. Okay, we're going to move next to Dan. I see Dan has his hand raised, and then actually Elizabeth was next. Let's go to Elizabeth, and then we'll go back to Dan. Elizabeth, did you have a question or a success story for us?
Hey, well, I think just first a question, and going back to what Al said, I would really like to hear from the experts. What is it? I don't know if that was a rhetorical question, but I would really like an answer to, what do you say when you say thanks but no thanks, for example, to the contract company? When you have two offers, you've accepted one and a better offer comes along. Any suggestions?
Okay, that is an excellent question. So you've got a job offer, but you don't want to accept it. What do you say is the question. So I'm going to ask my all-stars, what advice would you offer to Elizabeth? Al, I see that you're unmuted. Do you want to go first? And I want to see if Linda wants to offer any advice here too. But Al, do you want to go first?
Sure. I would go to the contract company and say, I've been offered a full-time position with this company at that rate or that salary. Is there any way that we can create a full-time position here? I mean, it's great to be able to play two companies against each other. And if they can't, let me go back a second. A company will drop you right now without taking a breath. And up until the last few years, these words would never come out of my mouth. But you have to take care of your family first. And quite frankly, a full-time job with a salary and benefits and matching 7% 401k, I'm going to take that right now. And it's just as cold as it sounds. That's me.
Yeah. And so, thank you. I agree. And so would it, I guess it doesn't really matter, or does it matter? I think professionally, especially if someone has accepted a contract, I mean, you're probably gonna, I would imagine that person is gonna be blacklisted with the contract company and with the other company, but a bird in the hand. I mean, and would you suggest it's so non-personal, sending an email, but, or would you suggest just sending an email because that's maybe what the company would do for you, or that's an easier way to do it? Any, you know?
Well, I'd try the negotiation route first.
Okay. Okay, well,
Brenda,
right.
can I?
Yes,
this is
please.
Linda.
I'm
May
not
I
sure who
chime
that's
in?
speaking, but go ahead. Yeah,
This
go
is
ahead.
Linda. Okay, so I'm with you, Al, in the sense that you have to do what's best for you. But I differ with the idea that you should negotiate, try and negotiate, make that your first point of idea or first idea in terms of working with that contract company. The first thing is to decide where you would rather be. Don't look at whether it's contract or real full-time. What work would you rather be doing? Who would you rather be working with? If that contract position is the one that really stands out, then do the negotiation route. But if not, then take the company that has that full-time job. And again, Al, I'm one of those people who would never have said this several years ago, but keep your resume always up to date. Always keep looking. Just because you've got a job doesn't mean that this is where you're going to end up. It's not unnecessarily your forever job. It's your next forever job until it's the right spot for you. If you do decide to take a contract, speaking as the dummy on my side of the desk, when I offer a contract, I know that there's this implied area there that says, I don't have a permanent job. You can keep looking. And even though you are on a contract, if you find something permanent, I may not like it, but I will respect the fact that you have to take that role.
yeah, thank you. It's helpful. Because it is, you know, I think the job search, because I've been doing this for a few months now, it's personal. It's so hard being a job seeker. I'm sure everyone can relate. It's so personal. We have to put so much of our personality forward, yet it's really an impersonal process at the end of the day. And negotiating all of this call every week has been really helpful. I really appreciate everyone's input also. So thanks for this input today too.
Well, thank you. And I wanted to clarify for the question too. So you're in a contract role, or the assumption is hypothetically you're in a contract role and you've been given a job offer in a full-time. What do you do with the contract role that you're in? Have you already talked to the contract house about, or in this hypothetical situation, not that this is the current situation, would the person have already talked to the contract house to ask the question about, can I get out of the contract early? And I saw somebody saying in comments, could you be sued? And I don't want to go into the legal ramifications because we're not lawyers on the call here, but hypothetically in this scenario, would the person have talked to the contract house about what are the terms of the contract and can you get out of it? Do you have anything you want to share there, Elizabeth? If not, we can move on.
Hypothetically, there's a contract that's been accepted, and then in the interim, hypothetically, there was a contract for a full-time work offer. It was, you know, very similar. I can very curious about the story, you know, that Al shared. So it's it's very helpful. And I think that this can be a situation that as job seekers, when we're going and just really fully doing the job seeking process, this isn't a totally unique situation. It's a good position to be in, perhaps for people having a couple offers, and how to navigate that, understanding that maybe there'll be burning bridges, but it's tough personal decisions or what's best for us, not feeling loyalty to the very first, if not best offer.
I hear you. You got to look out for yourself, and I'm speaking globally to all of you on the call. As a job seeker, you're looking out for yourself. And I want you to remember companies are looking out for themselves. And I would love to say that companies are looking out for you as an employee or as a contract employee, but they're looking at the company bottom line. They're looking at, you know, what does this do for our company? And my husband was in a contract position for many years. And as a contract employee, he didn't get benefits. He had to go through the contract house to get them. He didn't get vacation time. He didn't get days off. When they closed during the pandemic and the employees were paid, he didn't. He got to go through unemployment. And there were so many things that he didn't get as a contract employee that the full-time employees did get. he's now in a full-time employment situation. But having been through that, you know, there was opportunities where they renewed the contract and they kept him going, and we appreciated that. But you don't get the same with a contract position as you do with a full-time. If in this scenario, if the person was working with the contract house and the contract house was helping to coordinate the offer for the second opportunity, which was full-time, then the contract house should be helpful in negotiating the person out of the first contract to help them to get to the second contract as the contractor. So hopefully that helps. I appreciate that you bring up this hypothetical scenario for all of us, Elizabeth, because you never know who on the call may be facing this exact situation, and I wish you the best of luck. I love your background too. I just want to say that before we get off. It's a really clean background. I love what you have in your setup there.
You guys helped me last week or the week before, I think. Feedback.
Yeah, hey, let's do it. Now that we're talking about this, before we go into Dan, I'm going to pull us up into gallery view. We're going to do a quick little Zoom lesson for all of you who are on the call. Now I'm at a coffee house, so I'm actually using my laptop. I'm touching on that right now, and I usually have an external webcam, which is a much better quality. I usually have lighting system, but sometimes we're going to be in a scenario where, hey, we're in Michigan, the power went out, you know, and we have to leave our house and go to a coffee shop, and we got to make the best of it. So in this scenario, here's one thing I did. I dialed in, so I'm actually listening to the call through my phone audio instead of listening it to the laptop for two reasons. One is I'm in a coffee shop. We got the latte machine frothing in the background. We got people coming in and out of the door. This keeps the sound right here, and the microphone is like someplace on here. I don't know where it's at. So this is helping to control sound in and out. I'm also being respectful of people around me by not having you all broadcast out to them. In this scenario, I have turned myself sideways on the booth, so you've got this in the background. Now, if I were sitting at the booth normally, you're going to see this light behind me and this gentleman's head over here. I'm not sure if he's listening to me talking about him right now, but it's not the best setup, right? So make the best of your circumstances. I'm sitting sideways on the booth right now, and I'm leaning all the way against the back of it. And you can see here how it's better lighting. So even in a non-ideal scenario, you can still make adjustments to your Zoom. And if what I like to do is try to get the camera as close as I can, about arm distance. We also have the Zoom salute. If everyone wants to do that right now, put your hand on the top of your head like you're saluting. And your top of your hand should be touching the top of the Zoom frame. Your bottom of your hand should be touching your forehead. That means you're at a good distance to the camera. Now you can certainly be a little bit closer, but you don't want to be too much further back because then it's hard for us to see you on camera, right? So a little bit of a technique there. And as I'm looking on the screen right now, of all the people that I'm seeing, I'm going to give a couple of pointers, if you don't mind, to the people that I think need some pointers given to them. I hope you don't mind. I'm asking for permission on this. Vic and David and Gary. Gary, you look like you're in the witness protection program. I'll come to you last. Vic, I love that you have the pie background. I know that's for me because I love pie, the actual bakery thing pie. I have a book called Social Media Pie. But the problem with the virtual background, Vic, is your head is floating inside the pie and we can't really see it. And I'm hoping when you do an interview, you have a different background, either a real live background or you blur the background like Al and Rich and others have done on there, just to make sure that you have the best angle possible. And you're a little bit low on the camera. You know, if it's a laptop, you can angle your laptop up and down to make your face a little bit higher on there. I hope you don't mind that feedback. Is that okay, Vic? I'm sorry. Okay, perfect. All right, David, are you on your phone or laptop, sir? Can you unmute yourself, David Schultes? I'm not picking on you. I'm just offering you some feedback if you don't mind.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm on my phone.
Okay.
You're on your phone. I'm using my
okay.
phone.
Okay, so is your phone up and down like portrait view, or is it landscape? Is it sideways?
It's landscaped.
Okay. The only suggestion I might make if you're on your phone is if you can try to get it a little bit closer to you in terms of angle, or even like the lighting, you know, trying to adjust that. A lighting tip, if you don't have professional lighting or a ring light or anything like that, is face a window. Like right now I'm facing, there's a window straight in front of me. That's why I'm getting really nice lighting on there. Your face is a little bit dark in there in terms of the lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Now you may not be in the place that you would normally do for a job interview, but just wanted to point that
not
out.
at
A little
all.
bit darker. Yeah, and the angle's a little bit off too. I'm trying to figure that out.
No, I'm in
All right, perfect.
Bellworks
Well, thank you.
in Homedale.
Thank you. Oh, gotcha. All right. Well, thank you for letting us provide that feedback to you. Okay, Gary, I'm going to give you some feedback next. You were in the witness protection program when you first came on camera. You're still a little bit dark in the background on there. If you were to be doing a job interview right now, the advice I would offer to you is this. If you can get a lamp or a light front facing, like directionally facing towards you to light your face, that would be better. If not, I see that you've got windows behind you. If you were to do like a 180 and turn all the way around with your laptop so that it's facing the window, you're going to get the window lighting you up instead. And then what you could do, let's just say you're in your kitchen and your fridge is going to be behind you, blur your background. So that way we're not going to see the refrigerator behind you, but we can still see the light on your face. Does that make sense to you, Gary? Can you unmute?
Yes. Yes, it does.
All right, perfect. I hope you don't mind me giving you some feedback. When I said it, you turned it on and I was like, oh, witness protection program. We can't see. We got to like talk about this. So thank you. And I did accept your invite and I gave you some endorsements, Gary. So we're all set there.
Brenda, when you get a chance, can you go over my LinkedIn profile? I missed it.
I'm sorry. Could you ask that question again,
Can
please?
you go over my LinkedIn profile when you get a chance?
We are just about at time today, Gary. So
Okay,
I'm
how
not
about
sure if
next
I'll be
week
able to
or
do
whenever? Okay. That's fine.
on next week, if you don't mind jumping back on, and we'll certainly give you that review if
Sure.
that's okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Gary. Okay, Dan, you're going to be our final question, and then I'll remind everybody before our call ends, I am going to do a drawing today for 2 tickets to it's a 2-day event that Rachel Simon is involved with. It's LinkedIn Ladies. I'm going to ask Julia, my intern, if you could drop the link into chat again for the event. We're going to do a wheel of names in just a few minutes for that drawing. And actually, let's do this right now before we have Dan. Hopefully you're still here, Dan. But I'm going to have you, if you are interested in the drawing, go into chat and type in "pick me," like I just did right now. Must be present to win. I'm going to give away 2 tickets, and then I will give your names and emails to Rachel, and she'll be following up with you. But go into chat and type in "pick me" if you could, and then I'm going to build the wheel of names as we are doing Dan's question. All right, Dan, what question do you have for us today, sir?
So I talk about the witness protection plan. I may have been found out by my employer. I'm not sure. My manager, neither my manager nor my assistant manager has said anything yet. But I noticed on my LinkedIn page the other day, individuals that have looked at your profile, it came up with one of the companies was the company that I'm working for. It may have been me just looking at my profile because, by the way, David and Al Smith, I am incredibly grateful to you for all your tips, and I'm slowly but surely working on my LinkedIn page because I know it needs improvements. What would I say to my manager or assistant manager if they ask me, "Are you looking for other work?" How do you handle that?
Are you in a contract situation, Dan? Is your employment guaranteed at your employer?
Nope.
Okay. So, I mean, you know, in those situations where if people approach you and say, "Are you looking for a new job?" I might say, "Guy, why are you asking that question? Why are you asking that question? Is there something I need to be aware of here? Is there something happening with the company that I need to be aware of?" Like, I would throw it back to them to kind of challenge them on why would they be asking that question. And if they say, "Well, we've noticed that your LinkedIn activity is increasing," I would say, "Well, yeah, absolutely. LinkedIn is a professional networking site, and I've been learning for people how it can be a really powerful tool to help with, you know, personal branding and to learn more about other working professionals that are out there. You know, why is our company thinking about getting more active on LinkedIn? Because I know a LinkedIn trainer, her name's Brenda Meller. If we wanted to hire her and bring her to the company, we could, you know, have her educate all of us about how to use LinkedIn. Is that something that you're interested in? Do you like how I just pivoted there?
Yeah, it's brilliant. The problem I have is I'm employed and I'm looking to work in a totally different field, a totally different sector of the economy, and so they're going to notice I'm looking.
Yeah. Are you not like posting your resume on LinkedIn or doing anything that's like directly looking like you're looking for a job? Are you, Dan?
Say that again.
You're not doing anything on LinkedIn that you're not like saying, "Hey, I'm looking for a new job." You're not posting about this on LinkedIn, right? That you're looking for a new job. I'm
updating my LinkedIn profile, but I'm not doing active search on LinkedIn. No.
Yeah, I mean, you could do an active search on LinkedIn without your employer knowing. You know, that's fine to do. But if they do happen to notice and they confront you about it, they say, "Are you looking for a new job?" I would pose the question back to them. Why are you asking that question? And is there something I need to be concerned with? Should I be looking for a new job? You know, like asking them the question. Wouldn't ever answer it directly. If you do, I might say something like, you know, I appreciate you asking. You know, I've always believed that you're open to managing your career yourself throughout your career. And if there's not a guarantee for employment for life for any organization, so I think you should always be open to, you know, thinking about where your career is going next. But I'm curious, why are you asking me the question? I remember my last corporate job, I was actively looking before I was let go from the organization. And I was confronted by a couple of my coworkers saying, "Are you looking for a new job?" I never answered them directly. I always said, "Why are you asking?" I think that's pretty clear. Like, why are you asking me that? Do you think I should be looking for a new job? Do you think I'm unhappy? And, you know, that's none of their business if you're looking for a new job. It's your
You're
career.
absolutely right. I had felt guilt for doing this behind my employer's back, because she's a really great, one of my best supervisors I've ever had. And so I feel a little guilty for doing this, but you're absolutely right. Thank you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I see Joey has his hand raised. Joey, did you want to add anything to that?
I do. I think you're right, Brenda. It's really, you know, why are they asking? But you could also turn around and say, you know what, we're doing so well. I'm looking for talent to bring on into the company. So that's why I'm on LinkedIn, or I'm looking to see what the competition is doing. Right. I'm doing it for research. Right? I'm doing research. I'm looking to see what the other people are doing out there. I'm looking to see if there's any talent that we could hire in.
Yeah, that's a good question too. Good concept. All right, Linda and then Al. Linda, you're muted. I wish I had my my sign. I don't have it with me today.
That's okay.
Go ahead.
This is for Dan Barinholtz, right?
Yes.
Okay, I just looked at your profile, Dan. The reason that your employer wonders whether or not you're looking for a new job is that your headline says you're in transition.
Yes, yes.
No. If you're looking for a new job in transition, yes, but otherwise anybody can see that you're saying that you're looking.
I thought I have a little section underneath that says for recruiters only. That doesn't preclude them from seeing my profile?
If your headline says I'm in transition, that's available to anybody.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right.
Oh, I see right here, professional in transition in your headline field.
Right.
Yeah, so Dan, you need to go immediately in your headline and take off professional in transition, because that's
correct.
Like telling people that when I see something like that, I think you were unemployed and in career transition.
That's exactly what I see.
I am employed and looking for a career transition, but you're saying I should
unemployed. Yeah, I would think you are unemployed if you were listing in transition.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
All right, did I get through everyone who raised their hand? I think I did. Okay, so now we're gonna do the drawing. Julia, if you wouldn't mind helping, I'm trying to get all the names in chat, and we tried to do the copy and paste last week and it didn't work. So could you look through the list of names, read them off, and I'll just look through the list that I have in Wheel of Names, and then we'll do the drawing here. Julia, are you able to help me with that?
Yes, I am.
Okay, there you go. Can you read off the list of names that say pick me, and I'll just double check that they're in the list here.
I can. Last time we did it through Zoom chat and it worked. I don't know if you want to try that first.
I don't want to do that because remember last week the wheel got all wiggity woggity, you know.
Okay.
So just read, if you could read the list of names that you just typed in, and I'll just double check my list here.
Okay, so Dan.
Ben, okay.
Angela.
Angela, we got Angela. Yep. Lisa.
Linda.
Linda, we have.
Cindy.
Cindy, we have.
Lena.
Lena, we have.
VF.
VF, we have.
Lillian.
Lillian, I do not have. Okay, got it.
Stuart.
Stuart, we have.
Jess.
Jess or Jeff? I'm sorry.
Jess.
Okay.
Yes. Rita.
Rita, thank you.
David Ball and David Mills.
David D. and then David M. I saw that one up here.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
Gary.
All right. And Gary, I have.
Randy,
Cindy, we have.
Katie,
Katie, we have.
Elizabeth,
Elizabeth, yep.
Rich,
Rich, I don't have yet. Okay.
Janine,
What was it again?
Janine.
Janine?
Yeah.
Or Janine?
Janine with J.
J. Okay, thank you. Okay, is that everyone?
No, I have Kent Lang.
Okay.
Laura.
Ken Lang, okay. Laura, okay.
Al Nunes.
Did you say Al?
Yeah.
Okay. Not that Al, a different Al?
Yeah. Last name Nunes, N-U-N-E.
Okay, I'll just put L-N.
Okay.
Okay.
Jonathan?
I'm sorry, was it Jonathan?
Yeah.
Okay, anyone else?
I don't think so. Gary said to take him off.
Okay, and you must be present to win. So if anyone has left and they win, I will pull them out of here. Again, I just want to remind everyone that this is for 2 tickets to Rachel's upcoming event. I know you dropped it into chat already, Julia. Could you drop it in there one more time? Because I want to pull it up on screen. Oh, actually, I found it. LinkedIn Rocks Conference is the name of the event. This is a 2-day event, March 1st and 2nd. I think tickets are like $50 each or something like that. And you get access to all of the different presentations by these women. I don't know if it includes the playback or if it's just a live session, but a lot of great sessions, not just for job seeker, but it's really about using LinkedIn overall. And Rachel Simon is it is $47, there it is. So Rachel Simon is one of the individuals who is the speaker, and she reached out and said, hey, Brenda, I want to give you 2 free tickets. So we're going to do 2 ticket drawings right now. I'm going to click the wheel. I'm going to hold my elbows up so you can see I'm not cheating and picking people that are my favorite people. I have a lot of favorite people, but I'm not going to pick anybody that I pick. I'm going to let the wheel pick it. Okay, so Angela is the first one. Angela, are you still on the call? Can you unmute yourself if you are and say yes? Going once. Is Angela
I'm
still
here.
on here? All right, Angela. If you could send me an email to brenda@mellermarketing.com and say I won, and I will do an email exchange with you and with Rachel. All right, did I remove your name from here? I'm going to remove Angela. I forgot to do that, and I'm going to do the second person right now. All right, there we go. I'm going to hold my hands up so you can see I'm not cheating on the wheel like in Vegas when they do the roulette thing. All right, there you go. And let's see who the second person is. Oh, Elizabeth, it was this close, right? Laura, congratulations to you, Laura. Laura, are you still on the call?
I am on the call. I can send you an email.
Congratulations. So you're going to email me at brenda@mellermarketing.com. And if you could just say, I won in the subject line, I will do an email exchange with you and Rachel. And Julia, if I could ask you just to jot down both of their names for me, just to make sure I've got both of them correctly on there. All right, guys, it is 11:10, so we're going to start to wrap up. I want to thank the All-Stars for joining today, for helping out with the Q&A. Al, I see that your hand is raised. Is that a residual hand raise, or do you have something you want to? Nope. Okay.
One more thing. Yeah, one more thing.
Go ahead.
A few years ago, I had 3 new clients who were employed at the same time that they became clients. And I'm thinking, how in the world can I get the word seeking into their profile? Because some recruiters will add seeking as one of their keywords. How can I get that without alerting their employer? Tell me what you think of this line. Earn the reputation for always seeking new opportunities to increase profitability.
Mad scientist laughed. Very clever. I love that we come up with clever techniques on here. All right, I want to wrap this all up. First, I want to thank the All-Stars. For those that are still on, I want to thank Jude, Al, Linda, Kenneth. I know it's a couple others have jumped off, Joey as well. Thank all of you for making this such a lively discussion. I find this is my favorite meeting of the week. I look forward to every Friday. I'll remind you, we do this every Friday from 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern. If you register once, you will have the Zoom and the calendar link for every Friday through the end of the year, okay? And I don't do any email reminders about all of this, so if you can't find it, just register again, and then you'll get the same Zoom link again. Reminder, if you see others that are job seekers on LinkedIn that are talking about being laid off, let go, in career transition, struggling with finding a job, tag me in on comments, do @Brenda Meller may have some resources to help. It's kind of like you winking to me, and I'll wink back, and I'll include the link for those folks to join the call. I don't want anyone to ever feel like they're alone when they're going through this process. And I also want to encourage you to help and connect with each other. The last thing I'll remind you of is downloading chat before we leave. So if you want to download chat, click on the little chat box, and in the bottom where it says to everyone, you should see 3 tiny little dots. If you click on those 3 little dots, you'll see a menu popping up, and one of the options will be Save Chat. If you click on Save Chat, it will save it, usually in your downloads folder. Mine says Show in Folder, so I can click on that right now. And that way you can go back, look at the links that we shared, invite people to connect that were on the call here today, and really just be a supportive member of this awesome VIP community. With that said, my name is Brenda Meller. I help business professionals and job seekers get a bigger slice of the LinkedIn pie. Do keep me in mind as you get back to work. If your employer is looking to train your team on LinkedIn, I also do executive profile optimization and one-on-one LinkedIn coaching services. Later on in the year, you're going to hear about my program, Boot Camp with Brenda. I have a few folks that are on that program that are on the call right now. That's a LinkedIn training course with online group coaching as a part of it. I'll be relaunching that again later on in the year, so stay tuned for more details on that. I'm also the author of a book, Social Media Pie, How to Enjoy a Bigger Slice of LinkedIn. I'll put the link inside chat. If you'd like to learn more about LinkedIn, I think it's a great way to do so. We had somebody on the call a few weeks ago that said, I bought Brenda's book and I did everything that she said. I can't remember who it was, but she's back to work now. And she said, due in part to the strategy tips that I offered her. So check out that book if you could, if you're interested. All right, with that said, thank you so much for joining. I am going to stop the